Snuck up on you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
In the morning.
Just sneak up on me a little bit, didn't it?
Surprise.
Get up and
Wake up.
First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Ooh,
Like butter, baby.
a little Luther on that one. Ooh, in the morning.
What you gonna do about it?
Yabba dabba do, Bubba. I can already see what kind of day this is gonna be. Time to get up and move your body.
Hey.
All right. All systems go. Check. Good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be the dove, Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you chat chammers, ghost listeners, radio listeners, thanks for joining us on this Monday, November 6th, 2023.
Man.
Buddy, you feeling like Luther Vandross this morning on that in the morning.
Hey, if you don't want to work for Luther.
Little Luther, not Big Luther. Little Luther. I mean Big Luther, not Little Luther.
Yeah.
The other way around.
The biggest.
Thanks for joining us. Good morning, y'all. It's been a long weekend. We're back. And it is a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha. Buddy, first of all, what's going on with you? How you doing?
Man, I'm all right. You know, we were kind of talking about it before the show in our pregame. The weekend was kind of uninspiring, man.
Uninspiring.
You know, yeah. Oh, no. Uneventful and inspiring. There we go. I got them mixed up. I mixed the two up. But yeah, man. Kind of as a lot of y'all remember, I was talking about my morning routine.
Yeah.
Trying to remain consistent with that, man. Consistency is key, y'all. Remember that in life. Consistency is key. So yeah, have some good meditations. You know, kind of just a quick 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be all day. Just give me a quick 10 minutes in, but you know, going in with some intent, some focus, some deep breathing, waking up feeling good, feeling motivated.
Glad to hear it. I definitely had a inspiring, motivating weekend myself. And it looks like everybody else who is in the chat is coming in feeling pretty happy too. So I appreciate you guys getting up early with us. Snipes early this morning. Good morning, y'all. Tamika Johnson gives us some sunshine.
Let it in.
Leah Keister says, happy marvelous Monday to all. Judy Princess says, happy Monday morning family with some exclamation points. That's fun. Pop says, good Monday morning, First Sky and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pop. Mama God gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, fam. Wanda Lewis says, good morning. Good morning. Appreciate you coming on in on Facebook over there. Mama God says, Paul, your hair looks nice this AM.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't do nothing to it.
I was gonna say you hit the shop.
I did last week, I guess. Yeah, so it's kind of growing there now. But I appreciate you. Thank you, Mama God. Appreciate you. Amy H. Noda says, good morning. Good morning to you. Shout out to you and everything, all the good work you guys are doing over there on Heart Ministries. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Fam in this morning. That's what's up.
Squad. Facebook and YouTube working. So yeah. Welcome. I know some of y'all can't see each other, but we all here. So yeah, welcome. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Let us know how your weekend went.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about that. Love to hear about your weekend. I had a brief trip out to see the fam in Vegas.
Yeah.
And hang with Pops a little bit. So that was good. It was always a good time. Always a good time hanging out. So that was I always come back inspired with hanging with fam and family stories and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So fired up about plans for the future and all that good stuff, and feeling pretty all right.
That's that's really where my mind is. That's what I'm thinking about, and that's what I kind of been meditating on. Trying to set some intentions, get my energy straight. You gotta kind of get yourself right before you can go out into the world and move. You get your mind right, and the body will follow.
Mm.
So yeah, yeah. Been trying to, not even trying to, been getting the mental and just kind of visualizing what next year. Again, you and I in the middle of a lot of conversations. We'll actually be talking about it a little later on, but a lot of activity with the DED. We're
Mm.
still, keeping our fingers crossed. We'll see what's going on with our situation, but some designations and some things and some decisions being made with the DED, and then some other conversations, man. Just a lot of things going on, a lot of growth. I really appreciate all the support we've been receiving from everybody in the community. And really excited about what the future for Sky Omaha holds, man. That's just in
Yeah.
short, man. Really looking at next year, and a lot of y'all, man, you got some goals, you have some things that you want to get done, especially next year. Now's a good time to start putting that together if you haven't already. Let's
That's real.
look ahead. Look ahead.
We'll be making some announcements here pretty soon on what some of those plans are, because I'm a firm believer in putting that out to the fam, because there's people always in the shadows that want to help, want to support,
Yeah,
and if in aligning with us and all that good stuff. So we'll definitely be making some announcements soon on all that stuff, because it is what it is. Got to share with the fam all the
yeah,
plans we're making. It involves you. You are the co-host, the chat chimer. So especially you guys in particular. Mayor Sanchez says Shaka Khan got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's what's
okay,
up.
okay.
And Missy Elliott did too, I heard.
That was yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's right. A couple legends. Kimber Snipes says I spent my weekend getting ready for the Empowerment Network Summit today. That's today. Okay, cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you going?
She said I'll be speaking on neighborhoods and their role with the transformation plan. I'm nervous. You got this. You got
Yeah,
this.
you got actually. Can we get you on Wednesday? It's been a little while. I don't know.
Yeah, love to
It's
hear
been
about your experience.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we had you on. Definitely would love to update, not just what your experience there. Of course, a lot of people we're still, talking to Brother Willie, been talking about that event, that summit. So definitely glad you're going to that. Would love to hear an update, but also what's going on with the organization, One Omaha. Let's get down.
Hmm.
Let's get
That's
down.
right. We still got that call out for everybody to join their neighborhood association or start one if you don't have one in your area.
Yep.
And we're going to be asking about your experience on that too. So hopefully everybody's jumping in and doing that. I missed my last one because I was working, but it was really interesting the first time I went to the first neighborhood association meeting here
And
in
Benson.
Benson. Yeah, and stuff and just realizing like the Benson days and the parade and all that stuff is kind of organized through them. So
Mm-hmm.
they make a lot of those kinds of decisions on stuff that goes on in the area. And because it's such a area, such a kind of a high profile area, they're a lot more active than other neighborhood associations I've been in. But so it's really interesting just to see, but it's also interesting to see who shows up.
Yeah.
And we definitely need more young blood in. Definitely need more color in. We need a few more. We need to shake it up a little bit inside these neighborhood associations for sure, because especially in areas that are so diverse, so mixed. So we gotta do it. We got to do it. So putting that call out again, and if you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out. At least hit a meeting and see what's going on there, so you can come back and report what's going on in your neighborhood. It all starts with the neighborhoods. We got to get into these associations and make it happen.
Man, what's good in the hood?
What's good in the hood?
Let us know.
For Kimmer.
Yeah, let us know. Let us
Shout
know.
out. Judy Prince says recovering from surgery is going well. Yeah,
Hey.
yeah, surgery Friday, right? I'm glad to hear you back and
Yeah.
going good. That's
Got
good.
the new hip, if I'm not mistaken. Ready to shake some tail feather this holiday season. Ready to cut some rugs.
Got a little rug.
Yeah, got your new
But
hip. Got to break it in.
Wanda Lewis says, good to hear. Wishing you a rapid recovery. We wish you one too. Absolutely. Wanda Lewis says, I made another trip around the sun over the weekend. Had a great
Hey,
time. Right on.
see,
Okay. Get your born day celebration on. Good job. Good job.
yeah. Happy solar return.
There you go. There you go. Kimber says, I'm always around. Okay, yeah. Let's do Wednesday for sure. Get a report from you a little bit. Talk to you, catch up. We just need to catch up a little bit, I think. Cameron also says, I've been talking to some young people about creating a youth advisory board for One Omaha. Yeah, you've been talking
Man, I'm
about that for a
saying.
while. So,
I'm saying, man, there's definitely. I mean, you look at the amount of walk offs and walkouts and protests that we've seen from young people, especially in Omaha, over the last couple years. They are ready. Freedom Summer changed things. I think in a lot of ways. I think in a lot of ways. Like when I was in school, we would talk about protests and things like that, and like I think the nearest protest was like the Watts riots, and you know what I mean, as far as just big protest movements. Like
what? What about George Floyd, Black Lives Matter? The
I
whole.
wasn't in school. I'm talking about when I was in school. I'm saying
Oh,
when I was younger and I was a child, and you would hear about the civil rights movements and the idea of protesting and all of that. It was foreign. It was like that's what they did back then. You know what I mean?
huh.
But to see that happen in real time on a mass level across where
Wow.
people are protesting, that changes things. Like for me, learning about the civil rights movement during the Black Floyd, that or the George Floyd Black Lives Matter movement, like all of that, that would change my perspective on all of that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So when I was in grade school, like the George Floyd or even Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, all of that energy and all of that activity, I was in college by then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a little different. But young people right now, I think their view on their civic duty is different.
Mm, yeah.
And kind of getting back to that. So, and this is a conversation, a question I had when we, will have pressures on as far as the Democrats. We know that the young Republicans are active and they have their groups and young Republican, programs and organizations within the schools. What about the other side of it, or just other schools of thought, if you will, for young people?
Yeah.
Where are those organizations?
And as we talked about before, young people are really gravitating towards independent state instead of Democrat Republican. They're really gravitating toward that toward that side of things. So where's the leadership programs for that? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. I think that if there's ever going to be any kind of breach between this whole left and right situation, it's going to be this younger generation might be the ones that push it, and break it open,
Come on, man.
and get to at least a three-party system. At the very
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
So we were talking about Dr. Cornel West running for president. He was running with the who was he running with for? He was running first with one.
The People's
Oh, the
Party, I
People's
want to say.
Party, the
Yep.
People's
Yep.
Party,
Yep.
yeah, yeah, which is the first time I had heard about that. Now he switched to the Green Party because it's a little bigger, but same kind of ideology.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting that you got these people that are deciding they're gonna go past the two party system and do something else. So
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Also, former owner of BET, Bob Johnson. A couple years back, he proposed that African Americans, so called, we start our own party, kind of along the
Eh,
lines of what the Black Panther Party was.
If,
Again, it was the Black Panther Party.
think about what the Black Panther Party would be now if COINTELPRO and killing off the leaders and putting drugs in the area didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man,
what would that party be now?
man.
Junior Princess says, I'll be dancing by Christmas. Okay, cool, cool,
Hey,
cool.
okay.
Mayor Sanchez in the house. Good morning. Says that the youth want to be heard and have platforms. There you go.
Facts. Definitely.
Kimmer says, maybe I should connect you with the chair of the Nebraska Democratic Party Black Caucus. She recently connected with Whitney. Cool.
Okay. There's some double news in that, because when we were having the conversation about organizations, kind of pulling so-called black political power, I was definitely wondering if there was a black caucus in the state. Again, we're
Oh yeah.
talking about the African American commission that Sister Gwen Easter is a part of. So yeah, definitely, what's going on. I would definitely love, or we should definitely have the chair come on and just have a conversation. What's going on with the black caucus? What are they doing?
There you go. We're gonna have a conversation today with brothers Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne.
Hey, this Monday.
Coming in this morning and talking about getting a little catch up on what's going on. So we'll be looking forward to seeing them. And we also got some news. We were off Friday, so the news kind of built up a little bit, but we got some good things to talk about, some updates on some things, and we really appreciate everybody who's put stuff into Friends of First Sky Omaha for us to pull and take a look at. And we appreciate your comments and all that good stuff. We're going to keep on commenting and having some conversation as we get going on this show. Appreciate you coming on in, ladies and gentlemen. A fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Let's start the show.
Hey.
Was it just me or did that video act funny?
It was a little skibbity pappity.
Put some skibbity paps on it. Thank you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
joining us once again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the DS.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Chad Chimers, Ghost listeners,
Hey.
radio listeners. Thanks for joining us. Fresh edition Monday, November 6th, 2023. It's already getting into holiday season coming up here, and next year be
I mean,
on us before we know it.
'tis the season. I mean, once you get past the monster mash of Halloween, then it comes at you left and right.
Man, well, we're happy to be back. Like I said, we got special guests, Senators Terrell, McKinney, and Justin Wayne will be on today, and we'll be having some conversation with them about some things and some. What you thinking?
Yeah, it just dawned on me. Halloween happened. I mean, we don't celebrate it here, but it's a big thing to some people. I'm just kind of wondering if anybody got into anything. Yeah, it just kind of dawned on me like, oh yeah, we did miss that.
Skip right past us. Yeah, we
Yeah, skip right over.
neither one of us is about that. About
Nah, not about the Halloween ghouls and goblins life, man. And
we ain't worshiping no demons around here. No, I'm just playing.
Hey, I mean,
But
I just rather celebrate life than death.
there you go. Hey, if you did, I mean, I understand the pull for society to do it sometimes, just from understanding what like Day of the Dead, Los Dios Muertos is all about.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, I was just thinking about this because we had a death in the family. My great aunt passed away. So, and that we were reminded in that service, it's better to kind of be in the house of mourning there than it is to be celebrating all the time, because you got to remember your mortality. You put it on your mind. It changes the way you think about how you live your life and all those things. So, in one way, I can understand, just keeping in mind that death is upon all of us at some point, and acting accordingly, not just. You do whatever it does to your thinking process to remember those things, and to remember what it means to be around family and stuff like that. Family who you won't always be able to be around. So how do you act with them today? Not saying this is what Halloween's all about, but I can understand
That's just what you get from it.
well, I'm just saying, that's supposed to be part of it, but of course, Halloween ain't nothing but commodification of.
I mean,
Anyway,
if you want to get into the whole, it is the season, but if you really want to get into the holiday conversation, I mean, at this point, that's get your credit cards ready. That's all I'm saying.
that's
You
real. And if you celebrated and dressed up and had a good time, well, good. So it is about
Good for
celebration.
you.
Good for you. I'm glad you had a
Good for
great
you.
time.
Good for you.
I did see some people, some costumes here and there. Some people went out, kind of, lived it up a little bit. But
Yeah. I mean, I told a few children I wasn't handing out candy. I don't know why they were knocking on my door. The light wasn't on, but it is what it is. Hopefully, everybody had a safe and good
I had a
time
box full
over the
of
weekend.
ramen for them. Like, come on, get these noodles. Nah,
Handing out butterscotch. This worthless. Pop's coming with a fun fact. He says the Monster Mash guy was a friend. He says he was super cool. I mean, you making a song like Monster Mash. I mean, I imagine you being an all right guy,
yeah,
having a good time a little bit.
yeah,
It's a fun song.
yeah, most def. I can hear that. Also in the chat, Terry Crawford says, "Good morning, First Guy fan. We just had a lecture last Thursday on social justice and your right to protest. Panel
Mm.
included Dr. Imani, Morgan Price, VP of MX Board, and myself and other UNO faculty. Conversations are being had. That's what's up.
Good, good, good. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Yeah. Again, we don't want to just have the conversations here on First Sky. We, hopefully can spark some ideas and some thoughts and spark some conversation. That's really our goal. But we want that to spread. And that's really how the impact, goes. Just want to spread that conversation. Again, tell a friend, even if you know somebody who doesn't watch this show. Actually, especially, particularly if you know somebody who doesn't watch this show,
Mhm.
take some of this conversation to them. Hey, what do you think about X, Y, and Z? Did you know this was happening? First guy, and if they don't want to watch, at least they get the information.
Yeah,
So yeah, beautiful,
love
beautiful.
that. Cameron says, shout out to Senator McKinney. He will be attending my church's 158th anniversary celebration this upcoming Sunday. St. John's AME, oldest black church in the state, older than Nebraska.
Okay,
Wow, that's old. That's what's up.
is it?
Yeah, older than the state.
Yeah.
Church here before this, it was the state. That's pretty significant. Rose Review says National Native American History Month going on. Right on, right on. Appreciate the update on or the reminder on that. Kimber Snipe.
Okay.
My condolences. Thank you, Kimber. I appreciate it. Stephen Abraham in the chat says right after Halloween, the Day of the Dead happens. Coincidentally, November is also Native American month. Coincidentally, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Juxtaposition there that I hadn't thought about.
Yeah. Take from that what you
Mark
will.
Manor, who gave us the good morning earlier that I think I missed, he said, took the nephew out and we saw two kids get run over by a guy driving and probably looking at his phone. What?
What?
He said, so that traumatized him even though the kids walked away. So Halloween sucks for us.
Man. Man.
Dang. Yeah,
I mean, at least the kid walked away, but man,
that's crazy, man. Wow.
that's a tough kid. That's a tough kid. They don't make them like that no more.
Uh, yeah, that's tough. Two kids get run over. Two kids, man. That's rough.
Man, yeah, I'm glad he walked away. I'm making jokes. I'm glad he walked away though. That's crazy. It does kind of remind me of the situation that happened down in Florence. If you remember last year, there was a guy driving around.
Oh yeah.
Officers ended up shooting. I did see that they actually had to make some changes. They did like some security changes. I'm not hearing anything. If anybody went this year, maybe let us know how it went.
Mhm.
Yeah. I forget the name of the event, but it's a big event. Everybody comes down kind of by Miller Park, Minnelusa
I
area.
can't remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark said, I'm sure he felt it the next day. I heard that.
Yeah.
Ron's review said people act like clowns the rest of the year. Give them one day. Even the clown is right once a year, I guess.
Hey, okay, I get
Mr.
it.
Fell says, I did Mr. K's trunk or treat and then gave a good 125 teenagers candy and trinkets at the door. I didn't dress up. I wore spiderweb sweats. Spiderweb sweats. That's it. Okay.
Okay,
That's what she did for the
okay.
for the holiday. Kimber Snipes says that was my friend nephew that was involved in that event in Florence last year. He has several mental health issues. Oh man.
Man, man. You talking about the gentleman that was driving?
Yeah, how was he involved?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that situation was very interesting. And she says, and I mean severe, they have tried to get.
Weird.
I mean, well, maybe he'll get help now that he has a case. I mean, geez,
We talk,
Louise. We talk about it all the time.
yep. We talk about that all the time.
Man,
You got to in order to get resources around here. That's crazy. Uh,
man. And also, we haven't really gotten into it, but today we will be talking about another police involved shooting that happened recently. Getting some updates on
yeah.
that over the weekend. So that's also happening in the news recently. Off duty, a deputy shot somebody.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we might as well let's jump into that real quick before we get the senators on, just to kind of give a little update. This has been an ongoing story because that we've seen several articles in the news about. Of course, last week we kind of briefly mentioned that something happened with an off-duty sheriff deputy, and then there's been some progression since then. You want to start talking? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. I guess this happened kind of mid to late last week. There's a domestic violence. This actually being reported by several outlets. This article in particular coming out of the Omaha World Herald. Apparently, there was a domestic dispute between two individuals, Ahado Hamadi and also Davon Sherman. They were having an altercation. Apparently, according to the woman, Miss Hamadi, It wasn't a physical altercation, but at any rate, there was an off-duty officer who was driving by at the time and called for backup. According to the article, upon calling for backup, he decided to turn around and actually approach the situation. Says that he made a U-turn to return to the scene to provide 911 dispatch with further updates. This is before uh, backup or dispatch had even arrived. So again, he returned to the scene where the incident was happening, and apparently he ended up shooting the gentleman that was in the altercation. Dispatchers say that there was an active fight between Sherman and Ahado. But again, according to the young woman, there was no physical altercation, and that she told Clark, the off-duty officer, that everything was okay. She says, "I told the officer myself, I'm fine. This is my son's father. He's just trying to get me home." According to the sheriff's office, Clark is captured on 911 audio after the shooting, telling witnesses that he is a police officer in the back of, so he can give Sherman medical attention. He applied compression to the gunshot wound before paramedics took over and transported Sherman to the hospital. Hotto says that she and two other friends were on the scene, were with Sherman at the time of the shooting, and they apparently never heard Clark identify himself as a law enforcement officer prior to the shooting. So again, this random guy, from their perspective, shows up while they're having a conversation, an argument, what have you, and again tries to intervene and ends up shooting one of the gentlemen, and not till after shots, according to them, in this article, are fired, does he identify himself as an officer. Right now, the family is calling for charges. Witnesses say that they do believe the guy should be charged, the guy being the off-duty officer. However, Don Kleine, late last week, made comments after kind of having a preliminary viewing of information and listening to the audio. And of course, he says that he feels like this was justified. He says there are still many interviews that needed to do check on other things, but it sure painted a picture talking about the information, the evidence. At least from my standpoint, he says that I could make a decision preliminarily about whether the officer's actions were justified, which he says they were. So very, very interesting. Good news though, the guy did survive. He is in physical therapy. He is walking again. Does look like he was shot in the abdomen. But yeah, that's where we are in that situation. Again, the officer has not been charged with anything yet, but advocates are calling for justice.
Heard on KIOS news this morning about this case, and what Don Klein had to say about it. And it's um, unfortunate that here we are again with this kind of this
Hmm.
kind of situation. He Don Klein, according to KIOS, Don Klein also put it out there that this guy, there was some history of domestic violence with this guy. Uh, Once again, the police state trying to smear the name of the victim. As far as I'm concerned, that stuff right there wasn't relevant to what happened out there, because that off-duty sheriff did not know that person's history before he pulled the gun. And it's just it's all the way around. I mean, I'm almost hard to find words, because I'm so tired
Mm.
of police can't do nothing without a gun. I guess they just can't do nothing without a gun. They can't even try to break up a domestic dispute of two people arguing without somebody getting shot. And it's going to it's always going to come down to that. It's always going to come down to that. And so he's justified. We'll see all the things about the case, but once again, it's just a mess. And then how will we know? Why do we have to know now about this person's history? We'll see what the details that come out on this. Did the guy thought that the woman's life was in imminent danger? The way he approached him, was that what was going on? He thought that this guy was getting ready to attack her, or something physical was about to go down, or did the guy try to attack him, the sheriff? How does he end up getting shot?
Man, and see,
Before he can say his name and who he is and what he does, he can pull his gun out and shot somebody.
and again, so Miss Hamadi, who was again involved in the incident, who told officers that she was fine, yet he decided to try to save the day. Um, she's calling for audio. She's calling for evidence to back herself up. She's calling for again as much evidence as she can to prove, because at the heart of this is whether or not this gentleman identified himself as an officer. If he didn't, then he's in hot trouble. But of course, the sheriff's office is saying that they believe he did. He's saying he did. So there's that issue still at hand. According to again, Miss Wanda Lewis in the chat, thank you. She says Senator McKinney is calling for a complete investigation. So hopefully we can speak to him a little more
Sure.
later on this morning. So we'll definitely see what that situation. And when are we going to talk about Don Kleine?
Yeah. Come on,
We're going to have it because I'm feeling this is the second, maybe third big case, at least shooting of somebody from, the African-American community, where he's made a very early decision. Like when are you going to investigate?
Yeah. Why would he be calling out before there was even an investigation? He's just he's tainting everybody who will hear about this case. If it goes to some kind of court, people gotta they gotta.
He's,
Why
he's
would
already
why would you
creating
come out and say,
narrative,
well, from the little bit I saw, I think it was justified. Like what's the
right?
point of that?
Like again, the
But
comment
we're gonna investigate.
the comment coming out of KETV is that they're from Kleine. Again, there were still some interviews that they needed to do, check on other things. So again, if there's still information out there, how can you form an opinion? How can you make any predetermination? What happened to innocent until proven guilty?
This same dude that didn't arrest the cat that killed Skurlock. This is the same dude that didn't even send cops over there to pick up the dude.
Same situation.
Jumping in the chat.
Also,
Go ahead.
if you remember, excuse me, I forget the brother's name because it's been so many, unfortunately. But the brother that was shot and killed by Kenneth Jones, that was shot and killed by police, and the same man who wrapped that case up into 13 other cases and just made a sweeping decision.
Mr. Rickenfeld says, I believe it was acknowledged that he never identified himself prior. If he can't use discernment in the use of his weapon, he doesn't need one. He can't do his job correctly. He should be fired. I'm just tired of that standard, man. You're such a tough law enforcement cat. Like break a domestic dispute between a man and a woman up without pulling your gun. How about that? I mean, did the dude have a gun? Was he coming towards you with, what I'm saying? Like what scary behind the gun all the time, bro. Tanaya Patterson says, of course, KKK Kleine would say that. Ms. Rickenfeld says, victim blaming. Right. What would we don't know that we have to make an investigation, but what we do know is that he has a history of domestic violence already because Don Kleine got on there and said it. According to KIOS, I haven't seen that footage yet. Also, brother Kasim in the chat. Good morning. He says, as a gun owner, licensed carrier, legal protective guard, etc., had it been me, I'd be in jail.
Man, that's
So
again,
somebody was
he's
coming up
licensed to
on
do
you
the
with
job.
right. He gonna come up and not say that he's law enforcement at all, and just already had the gun out. Tonight Passion says failure to identify, provoking use of force, all kinds of charges could be laid. We got to find out the details of the situation and hear the recording and see unfortunately, we can't see a police cam because he was off duty, sheriff.
Man, in a personal vehicle, in an unmarked personal vehicle.
Yeah, I feel you, brother Kasim, because if I'm somewhere and me and my woman is arguing and somebody jumps out of their car, some dude come over and getting in my business like that, we gonna have some words, and he starts to pull a gun out on somebody. Look, Ms. Rickenfeld says, when people of a different culture argue, it's always perceived as scarier. Again, we need more training in black officers throughout the ranks. We need police reform because there's some things they need to leave alone and quit. Kleine shouldn't, Ms. Rickenfeld says, Kleine shouldn't have said a word. He had no information, so he spoke through racism. That's in my opinion.
I mean, again, he himself said that he made a preliminary determination.
Mark Manor says Don Kleine is bought and paid for.
Man, I mean, as a prosecutor, as a somebody, wouldn't you think that you should have, or at least, I mean, it's human nature to have some kind of pre-notion and pre-considerations, and we can talk about his human nature or character another time, but as a prosecutor, one, you shouldn't say that publicly, and two, shouldn't you wait till the investigation is done till you got all the facts to make a determination? Why are you saying things?
He's speaking on the investigation before it happens. He's speaking on the case before it happens, because the off duty sheriff did not know that man's history. So why does Don Kleine? Why did after they plugged him up and sent him to the hospital and ran his name? Then they found out that he had some domestic violence in his past, and so you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, so it was justified. That's the reason why I determined it was justified.
Yeah, and I don't know if
That's
I
the part.
mentioned it or not, but the gentleman who was shot was unarmed. Let's also put that out there. I don't, so
Mr. Circlefeld says anybody else goes against policy at their job, they get fired. Tamika Johnson says immediately. Ms. Circlefeld says that reads like hunting. Gwenny says,
mm,
as commissioner, I will be asking the Commission of African American Affairs to also find out what happened.
okay. Can you
Cool.
launch an investigation? Is that what that sounds like?
No. To my pastor says you can't train away bigotry. Brother Kasim
Nope.
said black officers in Omaha are soft. They ain't gonna say nothing. They'll
Mm,
continue to do what they do, what they've been doing. Nothing. They'll say nothing and they'll do nothing.
yeah. So
It's not even the thing that says, to me, police culture is such a culture that it doesn't even matter what race you are. If you decided that you're going to police other human beings, then you're inside of a different kind of culture.
mm,
Miss Eric Phil says we're conscious of obtaining all facts before even making social media posts. I shake my head. He's speaking out of turn on someone's life because that life doesn't matter to him. Donald Trump set the tone for speaking out of turn and
uh,
it being okay.
man. So again, I will say Sherman, the gentleman, did survive. We will see if there's any charges, because even if no criminal charges are brought, there's still civic charges that can be brought against the gentleman individually. So we'll definitely see with that situation, and there are still calling for criminal charges. The young lady who was in the situation, who was in the argument in the heat of the moment, told the gentleman, the off-duty officer, again, to step back, and she said that she was fine. She says, "I'm fine. This is my son's father. I know this gentleman. He's just trying to get me home." So
Yeah.
again, it's very interesting to see that this guy ended up shot. They're still calling for the audio. She says that we still haven't heard that audio. Typically, wouldn't you want to protect yourself and release the audio so that you can back yourself up? Kind of questioning why the police department has not released the audio. Uh, Maybe alluding to the fact that it may prove that he did not identify himself before the shooting. Also, she says, "I would like to see the officer charged. He should be charged." So we'll definitely keep our eyes on the situation in the future.
I'm wondering where the audio is coming from because I doubt he had any kind of police cam or anything like that on. Where would the audio even be coming from?
I believe the 911 call. I believe there's a call after
Well,
the
that's not,
shooting. Or
well then that's not going to tell. That's not we're not going to hear whether or not he identified himself first. It'll be a he said she said situation, and guess what? He said he did. They said he didn't. They'll go with him.
Mhm.
A little bit more on this. Tamika Renee is in the chat. Good morning. She says,
Peace, peace, sister.
in my opinion, I don't think Don Kleine should have spoken so prematurely. I would like
Mhm.
the FB live recording to be publicly released. It has been being used as evidence to support the officer, stating that he announced himself as an officer and that he was trying to protect the victim, who was plainly saying she was not a victim at that point.
Like, that's
I'm
ridiculous.
I'm trying to tell you, you already know, like, you already know what this was. Like, he came and tried to mess some stuff up. They both were like, "No, just calm down. I know him," so on and so forth. He chimed up like, get out of our business." And then they got into a thing, and then he didn't like that dude chiming up on him, probably. I'm just speculating.
Man.
Terry Crawford says, Moore has requested a public forum. Moore, More, has requested a public forum with Tom Riley, public defender, and Don Kleine, county attorney. Riley showed up in September and had a conversation. Kleine has ignored the request so far. He is an elected official. Voters have a voice, choice.
Mhm.
That reminds me of when Don Kleine used to be a Democrat, and then all of a sudden, when after the James Skerlock's murder, he all of a sudden turned into a Republican, and they had the biggest fanfare for a person turning Republican I ever seen in my life. They had every Republican up to the governor come out and do a news conference cheering him on that he became a Republican, and I will never forget that scene.
Yeah.
Everybody, the whole state assembly came out just about it, and it was having a party on the news conference about him deciding he's going to turn Republican. Change the party. You ever heard anybody having a party over a change of party?
But and what led up to it was very interesting.
Right. Yeah. Well, when brother McKinney gets on, we'll definitely have to ask him about what's going on here with this, because right now I'm doing a whole lot of speculating and feeling real funny about it. And just from the stuff that we've been reading, just from the reports. And shout out to everybody, the Channel 7. I think Omaha World Herald had an article about this. I believe Nebraska Examiner did. So people have been digging into this story and trying to find out what's going on, and speaking to the victims of this situation. I don't know if anybody has spoken to the officer. I don't think I've seen anything where anybody spoke to the officer, but we'll see. We'll see. Wanda Lewis says even some Dinos cheered Kleine on when he switched parties. Democrats in name only. That's funny. Mark Manor said he got paid. Tanaya Patterson says KK Kleine is double, triple protected now from being booted from his spot. Right. Tamika Johnson says, yeah, Nebraska Republicans were proud of that. BS. Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
It was a show. It was a show.
Most definitely. 7:41 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're anticipating the senators coming on here pretty soon. So we'll table this and come back and talk to Senator McKinney about the updates that he has on this particular story, and we can kind of move on from there. So we'll continue on that when he comes on and see what he has to say.
Yeah, actually, it's about 15 minutes left in the hour. You want to just smell the coffee beans real quick?
Yeah, we can. If you feel so Don inclined. I mean. We'll be right back, y'all. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Let's go right near the beach today.
Hey.
Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat channels, ghost listeners, radio listeners, thanks for joining us. Again, it is Monday, November the 6th, 2023, if you believe in the concept of dates and time.
Man, already.
Man, Tim Clark in the chat. Good morning.
Hey.
He says, follow the facts. Heard that.
Yeah.
Up. Judy Prinzler says, so sad that we all knew this would be Kleine's comment before he made it. Says says a lot. We'll get to it when our brother Senator McKinney comes on. We can ask him about that. And in the meantime, between time, definitely more stuff going on in the news. A few things here and there that we wanted to talk about because you guys put those in, Friends of First Sky Omaha. We appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. What's on top of your mind, buddy?
I do want to pivot. Again, we're anticipating the senators coming on here in a little bit, and we're still in constant conversation about what's going on with the DED situation. Again, Senators McKinney and Wayne, big shout out to them for their success in LB 1024, later known as LB 531. And specifically Senator McKinney, who I guess it was kind of his idea, his addition to the plan as far as iHubs, the designation of iHubs or innovation hubs, and finally the DED has designated 3 iHubs. Coming just a week after we just talked about some of the other hubs that have been designated nationally by again our federal government, and now the state finding their own hubs throughout the Omaha and Lincoln areas. Very, very interesting. There's 3 specific hubs that have been identified. One is the Fermentation Collaborative, which will be in Lincoln. Their focus will be to seek to improve the workforce for biotechnology in Nebraska by addressing the need for employees with fermentation experiences. So, kind of dealing with our agricultural technology and innovation, a lot of corn and ethanol and other just innovative things coming out of our western Nebraska area. So definitely looking forward to see what happens with that. Also, Omaha Initiative Connection Hub, which will be on 103rd, a little ways out, 103rd in Commercial to be exact. Actually, 103rd will be the headquarters, and 16th in Commercial is a proposed site for the hub. So, excuse me, the Omaha Innovation Connection Hub will assist in the identification, integration, and assessment of innovative concepts and emerging and enabling technologies and capabilities in support of local universities, colleges, entrepreneurs, and the North Omaha community. So, again, if you fall in one of those categories, definitely look for that. Again, 16th and Commercial will be one proposed site, and the headquarters will be on 103rd. And then also, big shout out to Julian and Brittany Young, who will have an iHub in their namesake. Again, the Julian and Brittany Young iHub, which will be on 68th and Pine, kind of in the Exarban Village area. Their mission is to bring inspiration to economic well-being through entrepreneurial action, advocacy, and education. And again, we've been very transparent. We are working with Julian Young as an organization and their foundation actually to get some things in order on our back end as far as our business sense. But big shout out to brother Julian and sister Brittany. Man, they have some other things in the works, making some big moves, and kind of excited to see what they do with their iHub. He's been very eager and excited about this. So good to finally see him get that through.
Yeah, man. Really impressed with what he's done with his office over there on 30th and Lake.
Mhm.
Uh, Wait,
No, 30th and Ames.
30th and
Ames.
Ames. Yeah, my bad. 30th and Ames, and of course that we call the headquarters over there. That they own with the scooters over there. We call the headquarters. I passed by it last night. I was driving coming back from the airport, and it's still not up and running yet.
Mm.
After that accident with the awning on the back, and I was worried. I was like, man, I hope everything's okay there. So it was really good to get up this morning and see in the news that they're going forward with the iHub situation over there. So shout out to Julian Young and his wife Brittany Young, and they were always are making some good moves. That foundation they set up has really helped a whole bunch of people, and the business that they have, Julian Young Business Associates, has made people turn their businesses into some $1 million businesses. So they know what they're doing, and it's the breath of fresh air to go in there all the time and just get the spirit of oh, we all question our financial literacy all the time
Hmm.
because we're trying to build it. We didn't really come from situations where we were ever taught it. And so, for there to be a black organization like Julian Young, his organization over there that is promoting this, teaching this, and helping your business thrive, and getting you to the point where you can play with the big boys and all that, it's like a oasis, man. It's a resource in our neighborhoods for real. And I hope that they forever expand on what it
Hmm.
is they're trying to do for real.
Yeah. I will also acknowledge this note that they have here in this report,
Hmm.
because there is two different things. There's the designation of the iHubs, which was actually an open window that they had from November 1st through June 1st of this year. So November 1 of 2022 through June 1
Hmm.
again of this year. And those applications, out of those applications, these 3 iHubs were the designees. But again, there are some grants that's a part of LB 531 that will still be issued as a part of the iHub grant, one of those 8 grant programs that came out of that whole situation. Again, it says, please note that this is an announcement of iHub designation only. A DED will issue separate iHub grant funding guidance, and an application process will be made available for nonprofit corporations designated as iHubs. So that's very interesting. We'll see what happens with that situation. More organizations coming out of this whole LB 531 Nebraska economic recovery bill as iHub. So I am kind of curious to see what nonprofits will be applying for this. So the fact that more nonprofits are maybe coming, as a result of this, very interesting to point that out as well.
Yeah, yeah, it is interesting. This is, like I said, more information about what's going on with the DED and that 531 money, and also just the fact that there's more money out there. There's other programs that the DED have been giving money away for. We just talked about last week. Charles Drew, medical's got some money already from
Mm-hmm.
a different situation. So there's to the senator's point, there's all kinds of different bills, different money coming in, uh, continued money coming in year after year. So it's really just like I'm taking this whole 531 situation as a situation to kind of get our ducks in a row as far as just everything that we would need to be a part of receiving state funds if there's some programs that apply. Really taking that opportunity to kind of cross the T's and dot the I's on just our own business,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hoping, because one of the things that I think is something that's pretty important is that a lot of times there's all this money coming in north and south Omaha, but not a whole lot of businesses are ready for that kind of influx of money. Just even tying that in with what Julian Young is trying to do, create some more financial literacy and really kind of help with everything that you need, business plans, all these things that you need in order to really kind of make sure that you have the capacity to take on some money and have your business grow. And not just the money, but also the resources when it comes to connections with other companies
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So it can really make it happen. There's more to it than just money coming in North Omaha. It really is, how what state are you in to be able to use it? It's kind of
Man,
one of
man,
the situations. Yeah.
man. Again, man, I hear it all the time, man. It's funny, but again, out of the kind of Moorish doctrine, it's not about possessing a thing; it's about knowing to use it. You can
Mm,
have money, but what you gonna do with it? It's
man.
not. Would you say putting money in the bank, you might as well just bury it in the backyard or something
Yeah.
like that?
Buried in the ground. Put it under the mattress, buried in the ground. If it's not gonna do nothing for you. There's a parable in the Bible about that, talking
Hmm.
about about three people who got some coin. One of them invested,
Right.
one of them dug it and put it in the ground.
All right.
Yeah,
All
so
right. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and the way the banks are, man, that 0.001% of interest you get for putting it in the bank is just like putting it in, I call it putting it in the ground, basically.
Man. Pretty much. Pretty
It's
much.
not even
Stephen
putting it in
Abraham.
it's not even putting it in the ground, it's putting it in underneath the mattress. In the ground, stuff grows, and nothing
Man,
grows.
all right. Right, man. Kicking at science, man. Stephen Abraham also in the chat saying money is neutral until used. Yeah, yeah. Again, I said it on the show before, man. Money is just it's just a utility. It's just a physical manifestation of energy. Where are you diverting that energy? Where are you sending that energy? Where is that energy going? What are you putting your energy into?
True.
So
Flowing. The
man,
money's supposed to flow.
follow
Before
the
we get
money.
to our special guest coming in, just wanna acknowledge Brother Knight in the chat. Good morning. He says,
Yes,
"I
yes.
heard they're gonna have inspections on that building on 30th." Okay, we'll get some more
He's
information
saying
on that.
he's saying problems with inspections.
Oh, sorry about that. Problems with inspections on the building. Okay. Something about leaking pipes that never got fixed. Yeah, I'm sure there's
Okay.
a whole
Okay.
lot of that stuff around there.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. We'll definitely see. Also, I want to acknowledge that woman in the chat. She says, "What exactly is an iHub?" And actually, yeah, I think this would be a good time to bring on Brother McKinney. He
Let's
waiting in the wings.
let's most definitely do that, Brother McKinney.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, Terrell McKinney, my man, Senator McKinney,
put some respect on
put
his
some
name.
respect on his name. Good morning to you, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Good morning.
Good
Good morning.
morning. Good
Morning.
morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining us as always. It's a pleasure to speak to you, brother.
No
Hopefully, all
problem.
is well with the fam and everything.
How
I'm
you
good.
feeling today, man?
I'm feeling good. You?
How's your weekend?
My weekend was cool. It was chill. I ain't do
Yeah,
too.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
a good way to put it. Chill. Had a chill weekend too, quite literally. But yeah. But man, perfect. I'm glad you joining us at perfect timing. I don't know if you've been listening to the conversation, but we're just talking about this latest release from the Nebraska Department of Economic Development, acknowledging, and this is a part I didn't mention this, but this is a part of LB 450, which maybe Senator, you can tell us a little bit more as far as the iHub designations. We see Brother Julian and Sister Brittany getting in part of that designation. One of the chat chimers asked, "What exactly is an iHub?" Can you answer that?
Yeah. So the Innovation Hub program got started because of LB 450, which was my priority bill a
Mm,
couple years ago. And the vision behind iHubs is basically I felt as though we needed a central place in North Omaha to where an entrepreneur, small business owner can go and get some help with, starting a business or finding ways to make their businesses more sustainable. And the purpose of the iHub is to bring partners together to work to help small businesses and entrepreneurs around growth and innovation in the community. Because the one thing that, we always hear about Black businesses, they always say, we don't got our books together, we don't understand business, all the typical stereotypes or whatever. Some are true, some are not. And I thought it was very important if we were going to talk about making changes around economic development and changing the mindset of the community from getting away from just saying let's start a nonprofit. We got to put some investments into small business and entrepreneurship. And I think an innovation hub is like the perfect idea to make sure we bring resources to the community and that will be able to connect businesses and entrepreneurs to different things, like learning how to do your books, how to get access to capital, and those type of things.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Man,
Yeah.
sorely needed. Sorely
Yeah,
needed.
man. Yeah, man. That's across the board. It's across the board. Again, according to this release from the DED, it states three goals from the act. It says to encourage partnerships, as the senator mentioned, in an industry focus area to facilitate economic development. Also, accelerate entrepreneurial activity coupled with venture investment. So that's definitely needed. Also, increase employment opportunities with startups and technology based small businesses. So that's definitely interesting. I know Paul and I talk a lot about STEAM and just the need for more tech, especially with our young folk. We're actually just talking about scholarships and things like that for development, social media, gaming, things like that. So as far as the iHub, I do know that there's some more nonprofits. Where are you as far as, I guess, do you see things kind of living up to what you had planned for when you wrote the bill and what you envisioned initially?
Well, none have like officially started. They have the designation, but they're not open yet.
Okay.
I will say that because also in 531 we set aside $30 million for an innovation hub, and that grant has yet to go out for somebody to even access those funds from DED. And the crazy part about this whole designation thing, they've been designated these people in like June or July. I've
Mm-hmm.
known of it, but they never released it. And then like a few weeks ago, I just asked them. I was like, "So who?" I knew who they were, but they haven't officially said it. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "So who are the iHubs? Where are they located? That this and that." And then next day, it pops up on their website. But they just released that statement last week, but that's been out.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Let me ask you this, because I'm looking at the list again, and I'm actually looking at the addresses of these lists, and none of them are officially in North Omaha. Shout out to Julian Brittany Young, but theirs are, it's a 68th and Pine, so that'll be in the Exarban Village area, kind of closer to 72nd and Center. You got the Fermentation Collaborative, that's all the way in Lincoln. And then you got the Omaha Innovation Connection Hub, which their headquarters says here is designated at 103rd. There is a proposed site on 16th and Commercial, but again, that's only proposed. What are your thoughts about, again, the perspective of North Omaha specifically getting an iHub?
so North Omaha will get an iHub. That one on 16th is supposed to be in North Omaha, and also Julian works out in North Omaha. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. It's kind of interesting. Those locations are interesting. How to access the money? You got to be within a certain geographical area. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's all going to shake out.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because I was wondering about that. That was my thing too because I was confused. I was thinking this must be a different fund that we're talking about here because from what I understand about 531, you got to be in North and South Omaha for it.
This
No,
this is LB 450.
yeah, if somebody's going to access that money, they have to open up an iHub in North Omaha. You can't get around it. So there will be one in North Omaha. Just who is that? I don't know. Whoever gets in the right area at the right time.
I mean, has anybody approached you about, saying, "Hey, we're thinking about doing this iHub thing"? What, like, have you been
I've
in any?
talked to both the ones, and like I've had like just general high level conversations with Julian. I talked to the other one as well. I know who's in each one. I've talked to them, so I mean, yeah. I mean, they talked to me because I introduced the bill more so than anything. So asked it.
Tonight, Patterson in the chat is asking, are they already partners locked into this iHub to facilitate those tasks?
Yes, they already have some partners and some connections. The only way you could get the designation is to have partnerships.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good, good. But I can imagine that they could use more possibly.
Yeah, they could always add more, but you need a base of 3 to even get the designation.
Okay.
But there could be other partners added on at any time.
What's the base of 3? What's the in general? What kind of businesses are we talking about?
You could have a mix of like economic development, university, community college, trade union, just
Okay.
in other businesses and things like that. But you need a base.
So some of like Metro has some of those kind of like MCC Express stuff all over town. Would that could be considered one of the kind of businesses that can be in the inside of iHub that
Yeah.
would count?
Like isn't the Highlander Accelerator building supposed to be that type of?
Yeah, like Metro could be a partner. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I do also want to acknowledge Raheem Sanders, which is a name I guess we don't really see often in the chat. But reminding us that Julian Young has a bank too, a Young Bank, which we actually have talked
Well,
about.
we were waiting on him to announce that, but yeah, good. Appreciate you putting that information out there. So we're gonna definitely have Brother Young on to talk about this when he's ready. This is a brand new venture here, so yeah, there's a lot going on with what's going on with the Julian Young situation for sure.
Yeah, man.
This iHub situation, I'm really anxious about because we actually kind of us as First Sky Omaha was kind of looking at. We were hearing that something's gonna happen on 16th Street, and maybe we can be part of that media kind of technology center over there if that's what that was going to be. We had heard something about a Kathy, something dedicated to Kathy Hughes, like a Kathy Hughes. Is this the same? Is this the same situation as that? There was supposed to be like a Kathy Hughes Technology Center or something like that planned
On 16th.
Yeah, like on 16th Street. Tentatively planned for that. Like the idea for the is this the same situation here?
Yeah, I don't think that was ever like official or anything. It was kind of just trying to sell the idea of having an iHub in the area. Yeah.
And one of that was I remember one of their proposed projects in the Olson report.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marlon Harris in the chat says, when are these iHubs supposed to open? So for what we understand, they just got the designation. They still have to get funding, and then it'll be up to those particular companies, I guess. But is there a proposed date for when those things when those things are supposed to shake out?
No, that's beyond my powers.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess they got to get the resources and they got to get started on that. I mean, if we want an iHub in North Omaha, either you got to remodel of some type of building or you got to build something. So that's going to be a process as well. So it's not going to be something that's going to be tomorrow, but the ball is rolling.
That answers to Nia Patterson's question. Do they have to have their own buildings or are they going to be pop-up shop types? Kind of depends on them. Depends on what it is they're trying to do. So nothing's go ahead.
I'm looking also at this designation. It says that all of these are private nonprofit corporations, and again, I know a lot of just on here. There's a lot of feelings and conversation and thought about nonprofit saturation, and we are talking about economic development. Even the iHubs, the purpose of the iHubs is for economic development. So, can you kind of speak to why these are, each iHub will be a nonprofit? Wouldn't it make sense for them to be a for profit?
Because it's easier to get state dollars. Well, the reason because state dollars don't like traditionally when we was working on this bill have never went to for-profit businesses in any type of way. The way to get state dollars is to send it through a nonprofit, and then they could get it to other places. And it's just a lot. It's just a lot easier to do it that way, But I know people was like, "Oh, Terrell, why would you do it? You hate nonprofits." I don't hate nonprofits, but if we could use one to be an economic vehicle for change, then I'm all for it. But it has to be focused on economic development and those type of things and access to capital and entrepreneurship. The way the ones are working these days are just social experiments, essentially. So that's why.
Okay,
Bro,
okay.
you just cleared up a whole bunch of stuff for me about the DED. That just cleared up a whole lot right there.
Yeah, yeah. That's. I hope a lot of y'all, listening in the chat caught that.
Yeah, what I'm understanding here is that before this situation, because I can't say I knew much about the DED or what was going on with the DED before this. I'm thinking that the DED is was always helping to develop. I mean, it's called the Department of Economic Development. It's supposed to help develop the economics of certain areas, and I'm thinking that this is mostly going to for-profit companies. For-profit companies pay taxes that goes back to the state, and this is the way that this cycle works. But for you to just explain to me right now that most of the time that money goes to nonprofit organizations that then disperse the money. So this is kind of the first time we even like dealing with the DED as an office without the buffer of a nonprofit. This is one of the first time that, well, probably not that, I don't know about the first time, but this time is different because it's going to for-profit businesses directly. There's a lot that's different about this whole setup than probably normally happens with the DED. Am I correct with that?
Yeah, you're correct, but that's not even just DD. That's just the state. Period. The way to
Mhm.
get state dollars is really through. They like for some reason sending it through nonprofits.
There you go. There
And
you
We
go.
we tried
Empowerment Network.
we tried to get around it, and they was like, we ain't, you can't do it that way. So I mean, that's why the program and all this stuff is kind of different and probably weird for everybody because the traditional way the program isn't operating in its traditional
Mhm.
capacity
Bro.
sense.
And so I do want to just point out and give you and Senator Wayne and the other senators who are part of this again your flowers even more again because this is such a unique situation. Y'all got the state to give directly funds directly to businesses in underserved communities. From what is sounding like now, that's even more of a feat than we thought initially. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Man, and also I mean, my mind is kind of blown right now because all this talk everybody who we've ever whoever has something to say about like Empowerment Network. Willie Barney was just on talking about how he gets grouped together with a whole bunch of nonprofits all the time. We're all mad at nonprofits in general because of the way that money gets dispersed. Not even really understanding that's the setup. So when like the DED is going to be sending money through nonprofits, it's going to be nonprofits like Empowerment Network, like other ones. I know about this in the art field as well because of the way that money comes through. Like different nonprofit organizations, family foundations give money to this one nonprofit organization that then disperses it out to art ventures and stuff like that, art and business. And this is kind of like what they do as well. So if we were to know more about the history of what goes on with the DED, then we would have saw something totally different than we're seeing now. And also it's answering some questions about why there's so much heat on certain nonprofits all the time as
Mm-hmm.
well, because they're in control of a whole lot more than I thought before this conversation.
Yeah.
That's a trip. That's just
Yeah, but DD is never really invested in North Omaha. They've never, like, even when we first started having these conversations, we would ask them like, do you guys have a plan about recruiting businesses or helping businesses in North Omaha? They just was like, no, we never thought about it, essentially. And I don't
Mm.
think anybody's ever thought about economic development or finding creative ways to help businesses in North Omaha grow and be sustainable. I just don't think it's ever been a priority until we put it on the table.
Yeah. Well, I will say the fact that these are nonprofits, I think, is a good thing. I was just kind of asking the question in just, I definitely think, because I just kind of go along the lines of these iHubs will be for profit, then the businesses ultimately will be paying, and this is a instance where we want individuals in the community to get a resource to get help.
mm,
So I'm definitely looking forward to see the impact that these iHubs will have. I'm definitely glad to hear that this was a priority bill that you had, and it's coming to fruition. So good work, young man. Good work. Um, but I don't know if you want to keep talking about this. I did want to get into the story we kind of opened the show with, as far as the officer involved shooting. I know some people in the chat said that you were calling for an investigation, Senator McKinney. So I wanted to get your take on it. You okay with pivoting, Paul? Did you have any more comments?
absolutely. Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, yeah.
We're
So
ready if you're ready, Brother McKinney.
yeah, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the situation? Again, a domestic dispute ended in an individual being shot by an off-duty officer. What information do you have? Can you share? And what is your take?
I met the young lady that was a part of that situation last week and listened to her side of the story, and it's just, it's not surprising how the sheriff's office in Kleine is operating. They're always going to act to protect the officer first and victimize the victim. I think there's a lot of unanswered questions that haven't been answered. Did he use his personal weapon or was it his service weapon? Was he off duty or on duty? Like, it's not really clear. And then what is the protocol for investigations for when an officer is off duty and shoots somebody?
Mm,
What if he shot him with the service weapon and not the personal weapon? That's not clear. How could you shoot somebody in 10 seconds?
Mm,
It's it's a lot of unanswered questions. So I don't understand how they could say it was justified without a clear, true investigation on the situation.
mm-hmm. Okay.
And his history don't have any weight on this situation. Like, the officer couldn't have known his record when he pulled up.
right.
That
Right.
they just using that to just try to justify what happened and try to make him seem like a bad person so he deserved to get shot. Honestly, that's what they're doing.
That's what I was afraid of. Stephen Abraham in the chat says, I'm late to the conversation about the shooting that took place. We already know that Kleine is going to protect law enforcement first. Situation that unfolded based off what I heard on the FB live recording. I didn't hear any announcements of the person being an off-duty law enforcement officer. So first of all, there was a Facebook live recording that maybe that's the recording they're talking about. They want released.
Possibly.
The situation with, because I was wondering, there's no body cam here, so it had to be something else. The situation with the individuals involved that sparked the off duty shooting will be important to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I appreciate that information definitely. And then this invasion. So you spoke to the young lady, and now you want to spark an investigation. Is what are you doing to move forward there?
I'll probably try to. I'll probably send a letter or something to Kleine and the sheriff's office and whoever else is involved, and just asking for a full investigation and what is the exact protocol according to those questions that are unanswered. Like, did he have his private weapon or did he have a service weapon? Was he really off duty or not? Though that's how could he? How could you shoot somebody in 10 seconds if you just walked up? That means you got out your car, pulled your gun, and shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's no conversation in between there.
Yeah, I mean, if there is a conversation, it's very short and most likely, involves a lot of yelling, in 10 seconds.
Yes, especially in the dark. And then anybody, just, I don't care who you are, white, black, whatever, somebody hop out of a car with a gun and walking towards you, you go react and say like, what's going on here? Like, what are you doing? Nobody just gonna stand there like, oh, you got a gun pointed at me. I'm gonna just not say anything. That's just crazy.
Right. So the new details, you giving us definitely some new information on some of the details. I didn't know that it happened so fast. Didn't even think about whether or not, since if he was an off duty officer, whether or not he had his personal weapon on him. All these are, like Miss Erica Phil says, all those are questions not answered yet by Kleine when Kleine spoke. But he did have enough. He did have enough gall to say that it was justified as far as he can see, which is real crazy. She also said the narrative of police shootings only being in the wrong if nothing immoral or illegal can be found in the victim's history continues. So that's messed up. It's all for them to get on and talk about this history as if that was relevant to anything that happened on that day. It was crazy. And if it would have been something entirely different if that person was armed. Like you said, if you're armed and you got somebody jumping out of a car on you armed, y'all gonna have a shootout.
Right. And what kind of gets me even more is the fact that the young lady said she was fine. After you said you spoke to her, did you ever get a sense that she was in fear of her life, felt any real danger?
No, I mean, I'm not. I only could see her face, but it don't look like she was hit or anything. So
Well, I mean, even in your conversation with her, like what
she felt, I thought she was being genuine. Honestly, like she was like, yeah, we was having a argument or whatever, but it wasn't. It never got to the level of physical. We just had been out. I think they might have been drinking or something, and they just was going back and forth with each other. But it wasn't. She was like, it was just that. It wasn't nothing else beyond that, and I didn't sense that she was lying.
And somebody made a comment in the chat earlier about like cultural understanding. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you ever, I don't know about y'all relatives, but my family get loud, just regardless, even when we're all just laughing and joking. You know what I mean? Like people have different types of conversations. So it is very interesting to see that, even the sister involved in the situation who the officer felt like he was saving said it's cool. Like, maybe she was like, yeah, I was tripping. Like, I did need to go home. Like, it's very interesting that he felt the need to intervene. And I will also say this, and then I'll kind of toss it to you, Paul, or kind of end it with this. In the article, the sister did acknowledge, like she mentioned, the guy could have even if he was an officer and he was just trying to help. She said he should have just stayed to the side until it escalated. If it escalated, then he should have intervened. But even in the article, she mentioned that it never really escalated. So definitely glad to hear there's some Facebook video out there. We'll definitely see what goes on with that situation. I would definitely love to hear more about your investigation, Senator. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that.
Yep. Any last words on that one before we move on?
No. I mean, well, I guess I would say the public also has a role in making sure we get these answers.
Okay.
Reach out to the sheriff's office, make a call, send an email, and say, hey, or to Don Kleine and say, hey, we want a full investigation. I think it's going to have to be a full court press because it's obvious it's something that they don't want to do.
Right.
There it is. Appreciate that. So there's that action. There's that boost to the root season 6 that we needed right there. It's time to reach out, Don Kleine. Time to reach out to the sheriff's department. Ask for an investigation. Absolutely. We'll try to see if we can dig up some places to send all that to. Call to action. That's right, Ms. Erica Felt. Appreciate that. Appreciate you leaving us with that, Brother McKinney, on that. Senator McKinney, excuse me. Yeah. I want to jump into the chat real quick. If you don't mind, a couple more minutes. It's 8:18 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. How are you on time right now, Senator?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Von Chapman says, good morning, Senator. Would a combined request by all the Black Omaha elected officials for an investigation be showing a solidarity from a targeted community?
Yeah, that could be. I know we all supposed to be meeting soon, so I don't know. But that's probably later. I think that's later in the week. So
okay, so coming up this week then. Okay.
Yeah, that's good news. That's kind of breaking news. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Okay.
Man, he fresh one says, "Good morning. How long do you have to file a complaint if you feel police were wrong in their course of duty?"
I forget the exact time frame, but should do it as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Okay, and also shout out to Manny Freshman. I saw I caught him on the street. We he ran into each other and he said, "Hey, you on First Sky?" And then he gave me his name as he was walking down. I was like, "Oh, okay. I'll put a face to the name." Shout out. It was always good to run into some Chad Chimers in real life. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yep.
Definitely.
Tadian Patterson said they did the same thing, same to the guy they shot in the back while he was climbing the fence.
Mm.
Also, Stephen Abraham says, "Is cultural competency supposed to be standard with law enforcement training?" That's what I'm.
You,
That's. I mean, well,
you would
first of
think.
all, that cultural competency piece, I feel like it's not the point on this particular case.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He didn't need to know that black folks get loud when they argue. He didn't need to know none of that. He needed to mind his business or stand by or whatever. But to jump out and 10 seconds later somebody's shot means that he wasn't even considering what was going on with that situation at all.
Yeah. And to that point, it's very interesting. He was driving by, he called it in for dispatch. He called, on duty officers to handle it, to do their job. Passed it, decided to do a U-turn and came back. So that before the dispatch even came, before the the uniform officers even came, it's very interesting how just kind of overzealous he was in this.
Yeah.
Especially if it wasn't a physical situation where somebody was getting assaulted in front of them, like they were arguing.
Right. Whitney was asking Senator, can you let the commission know when the meeting will be? I would like to attend.
Yeah, I will.
All
Okay.
right.
Let's
Yeah,
move on from that particular piece right
yeah,
there,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
jump into anything that's on your mind right now. Anything that's what's going on with you this week? That's top of mind for you, as far as
Today, I believe it's a turnback tax meeting.
Okay.
Later today at 5 p.m. So it's downtown at the Omaha Douglas Civic Building in room 903. It starts at 5 p.m. So if you apply for a turnback tax grant, you should come to that because I believe that's when grantees will be announced.
Okay.
What else is today? I think I got to speak on a panel at this African American leadership conference today.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Brother
Uh,
Willie Barney. He's been talking
yeah,
about it.
I mean, I
Appreciate
guess what else is on my mind? I don't know, man. Just this crazy world that we living in right now. It's a lot of stuff going on that is wrong, especially overseas, and
it. Mm-hmm.
just it's interesting. I won't say it's interesting. The conversation around it has kind of, in my opinion, I would say it has clarified a lot of things about how people feel about those who are being oppressed.
Mm.
I watched the interview with Ta-Nehisi Coates just recently, who talked. He's one of my favorite writers. He talked about he didn't really know how to wrap his head around the issue with the Jewish state in Palestine, the situation that's going on over there, and then he went over, and
Mm.
then and he said immediately understood what was going on. He immediately saw all the signals, all the things that about how people are getting oppressed, how a regime is oppressing another people and trying to wipe them out. He kind of spoke on the fact that he immediately saw what was going on as soon as he was able to see it, and over the course of time, we're understanding. We started off with both sides are tripping, but now it's like what's really going on over there is almost a genocide type of situation happening,
Man, free Palestine.
man. So it's progressed to that, and you're right. This is stuff that's going on the other side of the world, but it affects us here. It affects we find some solidarity in certain groups because of oppression. That's the thing. Not to mention I just heard a report this morning about something that happened in a Jewish organization here in Nebraska. In Nebraska, I believe it was in Omaha. That there was a scare because they thought some
Yeah.
kind of white powder was showed up at the office. It turned out to be
Hmm.
not anything nefarious, but people on edge. People on edge, and it affects us down here at home even. So yeah, I can imagine this is on your mind as well as the rest of us.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean it's sad times, you know.
Hmm.
It's a lot of stuff going on. And it's like, man, like what's really about to happen? Because you can't have too many of these situations sprout up all across the world. Like eventually, it's going to come to a head, and it's going to be something bigger. Because there's no way around it if all these countries start joining conflict, and
Oh,
eventually, it's
shame.
going like look at history. Like that's what
Hmm.
happened in both the world wars. It was like it started with a couple, then more started to trickle in, and then eventually we got what we got back then. And nobody wants war, and nobody wants to see innocent people die as well. Like it's crazy, but I think you have to be able to have the full conversation of why,
Hmm.
the root of these situations. I think a lot of times people don't want to have that conversation because for a lot of them that's an uncomfortable conversation, because when you go to the root of some of these conflicts, you start looking a little different at those that's trying to shift the narrative.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They say the victor always writes the narrative, always writes the story. So it is very interesting, and at some point it has to be discussed. It's all like you said, you gotta acknowledge it if we're ever going to actually have change.
yeah. So now Patterson in the chat says Europeans created that situation. There will never be peace legally squatting on another. They like the majority here will always be preoccupied with protecting something that was never theirs.
Mm, mm,
Hmm.
mm.
Uh, that's a great
Yeah,
statement.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Sorry, I mean, didn't mean to bring the bleakness in on the conversation. Of course, there I can't deny it though. You're right. There's too much going on in the world. It's concerning to say the least. And I just spent the weekend with family, and it's reinforced to me, kind of gather the family together, man, and just try to do our best to protect each other and be there for each other in all the times of need, and keep on fighting for justice,
Yeah, man.
keep on fighting, and keep on praying, and do it's hard when something is when you feel powerful. I grew up in a family that said you can do anything. You can there was never a question, but some things are beyond what you can do on your own,
Right.
and that gets real frustrating when you wish that things would just cease, just calm down, and it won't. So it's very concerning. I totally appreciate where you coming from with that.
Especially as a senator.
Speaking of being a senator, what's happening with your run, bro? I know that you're running again. You're going again. I ain't seen no mailers, no yard signs yet. What's happening? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm running. I don't know. I'll probably send some stuff out soon. I
Okay.
I wanted to get the announcement out, and then I'll start, gearing up a lot more to, start putting things out. I still have to schedule a kickoff sometime soon.
Okay.
It, that all be coming.
Okay, make sure you let us be a part of that, man. We want
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to represent at the kickoff for sure, man.
Let us get down. Maybe that be the first Sky Omaha stage. Maybe.
Ooh, could be.
Mhm.
We I don't know what happened with brother Senator Wayne today. I usually get a message if something's up, so I'll have to check in with him, make sure he's all good. But because I do want to, we want to talk. How always have that talk about succession plan.
Mhm.
Who else we're talking about trying to get going. But first and foremost, we know that you absolutely need to be in there again. You feeling pretty good about all that?
Yeah, I'm feeling great about it.
Yeah.
Good.
Do you know of any competition bubbling up in your area? If anybody is possibly running against you?
No, I haven't heard anything, so we'll
All
see.
right. All right. Well.
People always ask me that. I'm like, well, Senator Chambers wasn't running a polls a lot of, like, it was always some random person just hopping in the race. Not
Mhm.
you know what I so it could happen. So I mean I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there was times when just random people was running against Senator Chambers. Not to compare myself to him or anything. I'm just saying like it's not out of the ordinary for somebody to just run against you.
Well, I will say that we are proud. I'm proud of definitely the work that you've done so far in representation that you've given us. In the at the state level. So we appreciate that. We appreciate you, and yeah, looking forward to a successful run for you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
man. I want to ask you before you go, man. I want to ask you real quick too about you. You still in school too, right? You still in law school?
I'm still not finished. I'm not taking classes right now, but I plan to finish it. I just this crazy senator schedule is kind of kicking my butt, but yeah,
Mm.
Yeah. Which is and then sessions start up what January.
yeah,
So even less time you gonna have to. So
yeah.
I'm always wondering how you juggling things. So I just want to check in, and if of course there's anything that we can do to help support all of your juggling. I don't know how we could, but
Yeah.
if there's anything, let us know.
Too many jobs, man. But before we let you go, also speaking of the session, any bills we should be looking out for, researching, getting prepared for, anything on your radar? I know I asked you this, I think last time.
Uh, I'll. I got a list of what I'm contemplating.
Okay,
So
Uh,
this will be new stuff that you gonna bring in, or you
this is a
yeah,
new session.
it'll be new stuff. I
Mhm.
still got other bills that I want to get moved. I have this parole board bill which I prioritized last year.
Mhm.
I couldn't get out of committee in time, so I'll see what I could do to get that across the finish line. I have the Malcolm X holiday bill, which is actually on the floor, but I got to figure out how to get that passed.
Okay.
But I think next year I'll for sure be doing something around reparations.
Mm,
Uh, we got to make some changes to the economic recovery bill.
mhm.
Uh, doing a bill to demolish NSP, and that's really more so to get them on record to come and say that they never demolishing it.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Chestnut checkers.
Yeah. Um, Probably do something around parole again, another bill. My idea is thinking like changing the role of a parole officer.
Mm.
Instead of being just always punitively in a supervisory role, why don't they become like mentors and make sure like I think the description of the role is part of the problem. Like you're
Mm.
just supervising somebody, you're not helping them. You're just monitoring them. You're not
Mhm. Mhm.
there to get an understanding of that person and try to, guide them in the right direction. You need to go apply at all these jobs and do this and do that. It's not like, hey, like, how can I help you? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't think the role of a probation or parole officer currently is the best.
Mm.
Um,
Mean like a more human approach?
yeah,
This work that I'm doing with MCC right now, covering this life project that they got over there, is a good example to me of that. I wish I would see parole officers be like how these mentors are over here in this life project. They help them find funding. I mean, find jobs and find housing, and they even are there to speak to them on mental health issues and just overall taking care of somebody like a human.
Man, I
You know?
think there might be some opportunity with that. I'm thinking of Heart Ministry Center as well, with some of the work that they're doing with recidivism. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I can see some
yeah.
things with that.
I'm gonna do a bill around trying to make sure that people who got land in North Omaha develop it. So it'll be something
Mm,
like that like if you're supposed to be if you're buying land and the premise behind it is economic development, why are you sitting on it?
Mm.
mm. It's a good point. It's a good point.
Why are you when somebody tries to purchase it outpricing yourself so you don't got to give up the land? Like it's
Mm.
I know about this one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sounds familiar. Sounds familiar.
We ain't gonna name no names today, but I hear you. I hear
I
you.
mean, it's funny. It's just funny, you say that, Senator, because I've been thinking all day, really. Like we were talking about the iHubs earlier. What are they doing with that Martin Luther King building on 30th, man? Like that's just been sitting there. Who owns that? What are we doing? What are we doing?
I think OHA owned it, but I thought 75 North bought it to do like some apartments or something. But I'm not sure now. But I thought 75 North had it. But I think OHA might still have it.
Well,
It's,
whoever got it need to do
yeah.
something with it. It's an eyesore, and it could definitely be a resource. So, yeah. So that's just it's funny you said that. Also, before we let you go, I don't want to hold on to you, all day. We want to respect your schedule. I am curious about education. Not hearing any education bills. Are you eyeing
Uh,
anything in education? Just waiting for the school choice to go to the ballot?
no, well, I do have an idea about education. It's a bill I'm working on that basically, I don't know if I do another education bill, but this is one that basically says that if you're in the direct line of the superintendent included, all that top leadership, they have to work in the school as a percentage of the year.
I like that. Okay.
And they have to report out their experiences. And the reason behind that is because when you talk to teachers and other people, they say like the district doesn't understand what's going on. Like a lot of them are too disconnected from the realities of what's going on in the school buildings. So I think it isn't, and it's not a solution. I would say it's just a way to try to address the problem to get the people who are making the decisions to get a full understanding of what's going on. Because that's part of the problem too. Is like you got these people making these decisions on Cummings, but they don't never go into North High necessarily. And if they do, it's not there to learn necessarily. It's more like, oh, like I'm just at the school today, walking around, monitoring, but not really engaging. You know what I mean? Getting
just a walkthrough.
Right. So I'll probably do something around that to try to, and they'll probably hate me for it, but it is what it is. I just think, there's many things that we got to do to try to change our educational system. And I think people kind of get a false narrative from me, like, oh, you don't like the public school systems. It's like, I don't like no school system, honestly, because no school system has worked for Black kids or people that come from my community. I'm pro helping kids get better educational outcomes. And we got to do that by any means necessary, honestly, as Black people in America. And if you don't like that, then it is what it is.
Yeah. There you go.
Hear that. One more question from the chat. Von Chapman says, is there a bill that could be brought forward to address the continued unjust incarceration of Ed Poindexter and Ernest Jackson?
I mean, yes, but I guess there is that Ernest Jackson bill, and that would allow him to kind of get his case heard again. And the county attorneys and the attorney general's offices are fighting it, and that's why it's never passed. Ed Poindexter is also, they're challenging the constitutionality of geriatric parole. Like,
so it's a legal battle at this point.
And both of those situations is more political than it is actually, getting people to agree on a policy. I think both of those situations at this point have become more political than anything, and especially Mr. Poindexter and Ernest as well. Like, people are playing politics, and with Ed, they're gonna bring up the cops, and we don't want to do nothing to anger the police, and you know how that is. And Ernest as well. It's the county attorneys that don't want to admit that they messed up.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we're gonna go ahead and let you go. I guess we have to leave in a little bleak attitude here, but I fully understand we got problems, and we can't always be be celebrating it. There's these the things out there that's supposed to fire us up, get us upset, and work to try to do something about it. So we appreciate all your efforts as always, brother. And like I said, anytime that we can support anything that you're doing, please let us know on whatever level that is, and we'll keep on fighting the good fight.
Yeah. Again, it is November 6th, and Ed Poindexter and Ernest Jackson are still not free.
Still
Thank
not
you,
free.
Brother Von Chapman.
Yeah.
Right on, bro. Appreciate you, man. What's the rest of your week looking like? You busy? You gonna be pretty busy this week?
Yeah, I'll be pretty busy. I got a few things I gotta go to, so I'll be moving around.
Where'd you say that turn back tax meeting was tonight?
It's at the Omaha Douglas County Civic Center downtown.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
At
it's
5.
at 5 in room 903. It's on the ninth floor. So if you apply for a turnback tax grant, tonight is the night to show up to see if you are awarded a grant.
There you go.
There
Yep,
you go. Appreciate the information.
no problem.
All right, bro. You have a good one.
You too.
Peace, peace.
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 There it is, brother Senator Terrell McKinney. Put some respect on his name. Appreciate
man.
his time. We'll have to check in with brother Wayne, see if he's okay and everything's all right. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back and jump into a few more things before we get out of here today. Thanks for joining us and thanks for all your comments and questions for Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd. Stay tuned.
Hey.
Be right back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Man, Paul Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you, Chad Chambers, Ghost listeners, radio listeners, everybody seems to have some energy on this Monday.
Man, everybody. Yeah. Let us know how you doing. How was your weekend? What'd you get into?
Yeah, love that, love that. Tim Clark says, "Who's the artist you just played?" That would be myself, Brother Clark, Paul Beeee. Yep.
Yeah, man.
A lot of this stuff that we play on here is from our camp, so it's
Yes.
either my beats,
Us.
Buddy's beats, Boogie Woogie Jones out of LA, a couple other people in the camp. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
Tim Clark is a serious musician, serious singer, man. People know him from doing community things and doing business around town, but they don't know he's man. He put
Yeah.
that Lou Rose, Luther Vandross voice on you.
All right.
You don't know what happened. So
Man.
that's what's up. He said he got some words for it already. Look, he put some.
See?
You better hurry up, buddy. You better get your 16 on for Tim Clark. Get on the track.
Hey man, we gotta get back to that 72-hour album challenge, man. Like we got, yeah, there's some things that we talked about kind of announcements earlier in the show, man, and not really announcing anything, but it's some things we want to do that we're always excited about, man. So we Tim. Yeah.
So just to let y'all know, we have some pretty big plans for 2024. I'm not going to make a bunch of announcements right now, but we've been pretty transparent about our journey with the DED. You know, when this 531 money came to North Omaha, we had this vision to create some black media and expand the news, and so we tried to apply. We've been going through this process. And that's one of the places that we are trying to get some funding for in order to get to the next level here in 2024. But there's a lot of stuff that we got in the works, stuff that we started even back in the Mind and Soul days. We have been building our team up and our numbers up, which is very important. I want to take that opportunity to please encourage everybody to like and subscribe over on YouTube.
Man, please.
Definitely want to reach a certain number on YouTube so that we can venture into some of the ways that we can monetize our YouTube channel, which will help us fund this as well. So we don't just ask for donations and memberships. We also figure out other ways that we can have this thing funded. We do a lot of services. Like I said, I've been working with MCC right now on shooting some video. That's video work. That money goes to what we're trying to do here. some of the advertising stuff that we were doing back in Mine and Soul days, and some that we do here now. We're expanding that as well. So we have supporters that want us to talk about what's going on in their companies and in their facilities, and they'll pay us to talk about some of that. So we're looking at all these different products and services so that we can keep this thing going and supplement what we got going with memberships as well, and also sometimes even nonprofit dollars. There's even some nonprofit organizations that feel that we are doing some good work and want to help with those things as well. So we have to have several different places where funding comes in order to fund what we're trying to do here, and for us to get to the next level. And don't forget the training. We just did our first training with Content Creators Camp as well, and we want to continue that next year as well. So we got a lot of good things coming, and just want to put it out there about all the ways that we're trying to raise money to get those things happening. It's just what has to happen or for an organization to happen. So I get inspired by seeing organizations get together, working together. That always generates something good. I get inspired by seeing grassroots organizations like the Black Agenda Alliance, who are building things and buying acreage of land with their own
Yeah.
money, and raising their own funds, and so on and so forth. So we're all kind of in the same boat trying to make things happen. But Buddy, you said it earlier. It's about the consistency of what's going on. And I feel like
Mm.
we've been, this is the thing that we really try to concentrate on here with First Sky Omaha, is to be consistent with us, making sure that we complete our seasons, we have our shows regularly, we grow regularly, and even in times when we don't have the funds to do this, we still do it because it's all about the work, and that consistency is what's going to help us to get to the next level,
Yeah.
along with because that's what happens. People who fund you and want to help want to see that you're gonna stick around. You ain't gonna just take the money and run. So,
Yeah, right, right,
so
right, right.
you know
No,
what I mean?
we're gonna, 10 toes down, do the work. So we appreciate the support. It makes the work a lot easier. So yeah, we definitely appreciate and love the support. Actually, that woman saying the content creators camp was fantastic, talking
Thank
about being consistent and things like that. That is something that we plan on bringing back, a part of our plans in 2024. Kind of, talking about our announcements. And really, not just that camp itself, but the curriculum as she referring to, really doubling down on social media, our social media presence and things like that. Also something we're excited about going into the new season, kind of talking about that expansion and growth and things like that, man. So yeah, we definitely we're excited. We're excited.
you. Yeah, I'm over here eavesdropping on Gwen Easter and Tim Clark's conversation. Are you trying to tell me that you got something called Daddy Hothead Cheese? Tim Clark is saying, see, I'm eavesdropping on their conversation. It sounds like he has something called Daddy Hothead Cheese in Phil's, and she hasn't seen it in there lately. So I got to know about this. Been doing food products and not letting nobody know. He's
Mm,
Tim Clark be into some things, man. He got all kinds of stuff going on. So appreciate that, especially the work that you're doing over there at MCC. I think we MCC has always had a problem with reaching out to our neighborhoods. So the fact that they bring folks on to try to reach our neighborhoods better, and also what Johnny Rogers has been doing over there too, man. I think he's
Scholarship.
somewhere around $1 million giving away scholarships to go
Yep.
learn trades and stuff like that. So, I'm always like shout out to the people that are trying to do that kind of work. We head cheese. Okay. We'll talk
Hog
about
head
that.
cheese.
Head cheese. My dad. Okay, we go. Yeah, let's talk about it. We'll talk about it. I'm always up for that, for seeing something like that. I had an experience in Hawaii with a brother who was making some salsa, and we went through the whole process of getting it packaged and getting it into stores, and that always was like, this is how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This is how you do it. So
I
it's
mean,
an investment.
look at Campbell's. We can go down. That's a family. That's somebody, something started that somewhere,
Yeah.
and it grew to be a staple. So, you
It's
know.
interesting you just said that because I've been thinking a lot about family. I talked to the family this weekend when I was out there about family business.
Mm-hmm.
Because and we talk about back in the day when we had other family businesses going on, that really kind of kept the family together and kept the family paid, and it really worked out. I think every family should have that.
Yeah.
And when you mention like Campbell's, or you mention like Schwab, or
Mm-hmm.
any business
Mm-hmm.
with a name is a family business. They started it in that, and that's the
Hilton.
family name. Walmart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hilton, exactly. So, it's really interesting to be to think in terms of that. We are always trying to survive, so we're trying to grab a job that's going to help us do what we got to do. But if we can really start a family business, start a family legacy business that and connect with the whole family on it, then you can build something quickly, way more quickly than I was even thinking before.
Man,
That type of thing. So
man, Rome's Review giving us another reason to support Hy-Vee. He says they have tons of community product. Man, we might need to holler at them about some advertising sponsorship. We might need to holler at them about a partnership, man. They getting a lot of love over here.
Hy-Vee just helped out with Benson Theater. You know, we got this ball coming up, the Bonalto Ball. It's happening this Saturday. It's the inaugural benefit for Benson Theater. This is coming up commemorating the 100th anniversary of the Benson Theater building. This thing was built in 1923. So it's a celebration, a fundraiser, and we just in Hy-Vee just donated some flower arrangements for the table. So that
Man,
even
see?
on a small level, man, Hy-Vee. And also
Yeah.
Hy-Vee is, Hy-Vee is employee owned.
Yeah, we were talking
Yeah.
about that. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Another reason to support Hy-Vee.
Big time, big time. Speaking of which, since we're not really gonna have time to do some haps today, but I did want to throw that out there that this is the big thing. If you want to know what my week is consisting of, is getting ready for this. Is getting that suit to the dry cleaners and getting ready to dress up into the nines and come on down to the Bonanza Ball.
Hey,
Go
okay.
to bensontheater.org and get your tickets and all that good stuff. So yeah, check it out over there and come on through. I mean, this is going to be a celebration really for Benson area, and of course the Benson Theater that is now on its second year of being open. It's 100th year anniversary of the building, and it's first inaugural. This is the first fundraiser that we're having. So everybody's having galas and balls. Hey, that's the world of the nonprofit.
Man.
The Benson Theater is a nonprofit theater that has opened its doors to everybody in our community, and we need to keep it rolling as well. So definitely check that out. Get your tickets, come on through, and I'd love to see you there. So appreciate that very much.
Yeah,
Manny
man.
Fresh said, "Trust me, Paul, it's not what you want. Hog head cheese."
Yeah, nah. My pops made it one time. I tried it, scarred for life, and that was back when I was eating pork. And now I don't eat pork at all. So yeah. Good luck with
Scarred
that.
for life.
Scarred for life. It's like this gelatinous. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Gwyneth said, "I guess the term hog head cheese comes from Mississippi. Here they call it head cheese." Okay.
See, they try to trick you. Take the hog out. The hog is still in it. Just no. Yeah.
You got me wondering what kind of cheese this is now.
It's not really cheese. It's like a gelatinous thing of like, it's like head. It's like actual hog head and like some hog parts and it's
Okay.
not actually cheese.
Whew. All right then. Wanda Lewis said, "How much are the tickets?" Bonalto Ball. It is a fundraiser. So for 100 years, they're doing a $100 ticket. I think VIP tickets are $250. Yeah. And then of course, you have an opportunity to sponsor as well. If you're an organization or individual that wants to sponsor the event, you got some sponsorship opportunities there. Just hit me up for that. So. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to get these visions out of my head here. I shouldn't have gone down that rabbit hole. That's what I get for eavesdropping on Gwen Easter's conversation with Tim Clark.
Hey, I'm gonna have to tell you, like you tell the guests, man, stay out the chat. Stay out the chat, man.
Out the chat, bro.
See, I discard you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Man, okay. I mean, I was already a little bit. I don't do dairy, so it was already gonna be like, I don't know about that cheese.
And find out it's not even cheese,
Wow.
man. Yeah.
8:52 right now. If you believe in the concept of cheese, I mean, you want to do a little lightning round before we get out of here, man?
Yeah, man. And this is kind of wrapping up what we actually been talking about the last 10 minutes, talking about economic development, talking about jobs, talking about growth in the community. Big shout out.
Will make me stop looking at the chat.
Man, yeah. See, calm down. Let me get through this lightning round at least. Again, shout out to Carmen Tapio. She's still preparing to move her operation down on the Deuce. Again, North End Teleservices getting ready to move its headquarters on 24th and Lake. Again, the largest Black-owned business in the state is said to have a history making private investment in North Omaha. One of the largest and most expensive developments to ever happen on the Deuce is coming along very soon. We've told you about discussions of the plan for a couple of years, and on Saturday with WOWT, an exclusive interview of the president and CEO, Miss Carmen Tapio, spoke with 6 News and that the plan has grown to a $40 million price tag. Again, one of the most pricey and largest investment in the area. Actually, the largest private investment ever made in North Omaha, according to Carmen Tapio. She says the $65 million to $80 million includes a primary phase 1 building, which is the mixed use retail. In addition to that, they are building also an 80 to 100 apartment building complex that the area site will be including. And across the street from that site will also be plans for a single family homes. So the whole project combined is totaling about $80 million. Definitely expecting that to completely transform just the vibe, the look, the whole face of that 24th and Lake Street area. So I'm excited. Definitely, happy for Sister Tapio. Again, the largest Black-owned business in the state. How can you not be proud of that? And looking forward to it. She says it is a significant. Is it significant in size, or we want it to be significant in size to transform this community in the way that it really needs it to invest in the community the way that it really needs is going to take a lot of investment, and we didn't want to do something small. It's also with purpose because, again, my business is growing, our business is growing, and we have to be able to accommodate that growth. I do believe there will be also a daycare on site, as well as a room for other businesses to move in, maybe some restaurants and retail spaces as well. So again, looking forward to see how this transforms and impacts the area. With a big shout out to Carmen Tapio and North End Teleservices.
I'm also really anxious to see what this is going to mean for the Allen show for the showcase building, because they still haven't said anything about that. And when I hear about stuff that's going to be built across the street, which street are we talking about across from? So once again, no answers, no information on that, and I would very much like to see what's going to happen. I know that building is deemed a historical building, the showcase building, so I don't think they'll be tearing it down. But what's going to happen with that area? To me, that's the only building there that doesn't have any answers yet. I keep hearing about them trying to repair the old Bell building. That was the old Black History Museum. They were talking about repairing that now. There was a couple of houses in between the showcase and that Bell building that they've torn down, and I've been to several meetings about them trying to build apartment houses and things like that in that area. Still, the only unanswered question is the showcase building. I'd like to see what's going on there.
Yeah, man. So again, talking about family legacies, according to that article, they're not expected to fully move in and be done with that project for another couple years. So maybe you have some more time to find some answers.
We'll see.
We'll see. But finishing up this lightning round, also coming out of the Nebraska Examiner, this is actually a very, very interesting. Local leaders are calling for auto workers' gains to spread to electric vehicle plants, Southern Black workers, according to this article. Local Black elected leaders have aligned with racial and economic justice groups who want to build on the labor gains made through the United Auto Workers 6-week strike. The union's tentative deals with the big 3 automakers include major wins such as 25% raise in pay and getting rid of the 2-tier worker system. More than 60 Black political leaders, many of them city council members and mayors and school board members, all in Washington, D.C., and 20 states across the U.S., including North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, and Michigan, all wrote President Joe Biden just last week asking him to use his political power to push for higher standards in the rapidly growing electric vehicle industry. A few weeks ago, GM also agreed to cover electric vehicle battery manufacturing under their contract. President Biden, who spoke in support of the auto workers' demands and marched in a UAW picket line during the strike, should continue to support changes in the industry, the letter says, by mediating conversations between workers, unions, and automakers. The elected officials say standards of compensation, safety, and health for workers should be a priority for those conversations. We do know that there is a possibility for that to come to Nebraska as far as electric vehicles being developed and car companies eyeing Nebraska as a possible site and location, especially with all this development. Of course, we talked about what's going on near the airport, some other sites that could possibly be developed in the future. So again, I do know also my brother who just recently moved to Texas. He's working with Tesla right now. So as far as benefits and things like that, it's a pretty decent job working in the electric car vehicle industry, and from if commercials are any indicator, the industry is only going to grow with more and more major manufacturers coming out with fully electric models, and just really doubling down and diving into the EV wave, if you will. So, yeah, there you have it. There you
There
have
it
it.
is, lightning round. More information about that to come. Of
Yeah,
course,
man.
this is something that we've been trying to keep on our radar as well. Also, before we get out of here, Wanda Lewis said Carmen Tapio announced that the old showcase building is going to be an office affiliated with the new building.
Hmm.
So that doesn't I'm not happy about that, but is what it is. We'll talk more about it as we continue on. As the time, like I said, this is going to be going on for the next couple of years. She says it's going to be a beautiful day in the neighborhood. 100%. Are you talking about our day to day? I hope so. I hope so. I hope I came back to some decent weather and all that good stuff today.
Yeah.
But we're going to go ahead and get out of here. It's about 8:50, and I really appreciate everybody who joined in on all these conversations and hung with us until the end, and contributed to the news and information that we're trying to give out here as well. And yeah, I'm happy to be back today. I'm glad we have Brother McKinney on. Like I said, I'll give Brother Wayne a call and make sure everything's cool over there on his end. And we're looking forward to special guest Wednesday. We're gonna make it official to have Kimber Snipes on and talk a little bit about what's going on today. Remember that Empowerment Network meeting is today.
Yeah, man.
That's happening. And also, I do know a couple people that applied for the turnback tax. So again, 5 p.m. County Civic Center,
Downtown.
downtown, room 903, happening at 5 o'clock. If you were to receive some funds, then they'll be naming your name on that one. So
Yeah, might want to be there.
might want to be there. Power to the people. I love it. Wanda Lewis said, of course, every time I see Brother McKinney, that's what I think of. First time
Yes,
I ever
yes.
saw him, first time I ever laid eyes on the brother, I was standing in back of him. He had a hat that said "Power to the People" on the back of the hat, and I was like, "Who's this brother standing here? Who was? Let me see what's going on." And then found out that he was running for legislature at the time. So yeah. Even before he was a senator, we saw him at these events, man.
Man.
Promoting power to the people. So that's what's all about.
Yeah, yeah, quite the introduction. Quite the introduction, and definitely looking forward to continue to support that brother as he run for senator next session.
Yeah, start putting it out there.
Yeah,
But you
man.
got any words for the people?
Yeah, yeah, man. As always, I enjoy this. No matter what's going on in life or what I may be feeling like this is always a good time. So I appreciate y'all, man. I really, really appreciate this community that we built here. I love y'all. Thank y'all, especially all of you who has given input, letting your voice be heard, and letting your mind be free. That's what it's all about. So we thank you. But even to the ghost listeners, thank you for tuning in. As I mentioned earlier, even if you don't join the conversation now, please spread the conversation, spread the information to your loved ones, to your families, to your friends, those who especially don't listen to the show. First of all, tell them to come through, check it out, give us a try. But even further than that, just let them know, the spread the information. Did you know this is going on? Did you know this is going on? Let's try to get active. Let's get our boots to the roots, man. So with that, also for your viewing pleasure, there is some information about hog head cheese, a little more details about what it's made out of. If you're interested, if you want to, you need a recipe, you want to venture into the cheese making business, yeah, check it out. Check it
Don't
out.
let it fool you. Don't let it fool you. It ain't cheese. Don't let it fool you.
Yeah, it's not cheese. It's not cheese. Just a heads up. But in the meantime, in between time, man, we love you. We thank you. Catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B.
Yo.
Take it away.
If you've missed any parts of this show, please go back and check it out in its entirety on Facebook and YouTube. And definitely check out the chat when you do, because there's a lot of good information and comments and questions that were in the chat.
Yeah.
We have the best chat in the world. There's no trolling going on in this chat at all. It's actual people acting as if we are speaking to each other face to face. So definitely check out the chat, because we consider all the chat chimers co-hosts, and we can't do it without you guys. So we really appreciate it very much. Pop says, love the show. As always, thank you guys for your dedication to First Sky and to us chat chimers and ghost listeners. Appreciate you, Pops.
Man, thank you.
Whitney says, good show. Have a good day. Thank you. You too. And like I said, Wanda Lewis said, power to the people. I'd love to end on that. So appreciate everybody who joined in today. Thank you very much for getting up early with us and sticking with us to the end. I want to give a shout out and thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thanks to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. And thanks to our chat chimers for allowing us to speak with you. Really appreciate everybody's participation in the conversation. It really makes a difference. Shout out to Senator McKinney for getting up so early this morning and hanging with us for pretty much most of the show.
Yeah.
And giving us some insights on some things. Always a pleasure talking to him. And remember some of the things that we can take away. We got to take away. We got to take away that it's time for some action on a lot of stuff.
Man.
So yeah,
time for some action.
Time for some action. So
yeah.
So we gotta write some letters, and we gotta call John Kleine's office, and we gotta do some things, and say, hey, we need an investigation on this sheriff involved shooting.
Yeah.
And we need to investigate. We need more. Need some investigation going on. So more. He said all hands on deck, full court press. He said, let's go for it.
Yeah, man, let's apply some pressure. Maybe we need to call Jakeem.
Jakeem be singing.
Yeah, and he be camping out of your house.
Yes, he does. He does that. Yeah, man. I like that. Don't make us call Jakeem.
All right.
You're in trouble.
Camped out of your house for 30 days.
You know about that. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. Appreciate everybody coming through. Like I said, Wednesday, stay tuned for a great show. Wednesday, we'll have Kimber Snipes on. I'm going to see if we can get Brianna Full on as well, too, and talk a little bit more about what's going on with the school system. Yeah, and it's about time for us to check in with Precious McKesson sometime this week as well.
Yeah, man. I saw her talking about moving and stuff. Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, we gotta talk about some things. So might have a new correspondent somewhere else. We'll see.
Hey.
In the meantime, between time, take care of yourselves. Have a great, beautiful day. We'll see you Wednesday.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red